Hi, everyone. My name is Sonia Patterson. I'm the marketing manager here at iovox. I'm here today with Ryan Gallagher, CEO at iovox. Ryan brings a unique perspective to our discussion today on AI, artificial intelligence, as he is someone who is actively building and implementing AI solutions. Ryan has hands-on experience navigating the current AI landscape, not just from a theoretical standpoint, but from the practical challenges and opportunities that come with deploying these technologies in real-world applications. With so much conversation around AI today, it can be difficult to distinguish between genuine breakthroughs and market hype. Ryan's position at the intersection of business strategy and technical implementation gives him valuable insight into what's actually working, what's overpromised, and where the industry is truly headed. Ryan, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you. Good to be here.
I'd like to start today by getting your perspective on the current state of AI in a question and answer format. How does that sound?
Yeah, that's great. No problem.
Okay, perfect. What's your take on the AI will replace jobs conversation? What are you actually seeing with your enterprise clients?
I think it absolutely will replace jobs. I think, though, that if you look back to the Industrial Revolution, it was the same conversation when machines took over and then we didn't need 10 people to plow our fields. We had a machine which did it. But what happened effectively is life got better for people, but there's a pain period in the middle. So instead of working from dusk till dawn, people started working from 9 till 6 or 9 till 5. People took weekends off. So the actual work-life balance improved, but the initial stages of all these revolutions, and this is a revolution, is pain. There are going to be a lot of jobs which will be lost and will be replaced by AI. But at the same time, people should be quickly learning to use AI to enhance themselves. Like us as a company, we are not going to replace people with AI, but we will become faster and better because we will use AI effectively.
What's an AI application you've deployed or seen work incredibly well that some might not think to consider?
I think dealing with out of hours or unanswered calls is by far the biggest opportunity that we're tackling at the moment. And that can be converting an inquiry into a restaurant booking. It can be taking somebody's details and finding out what they want and helping them with it. That can be, I want to view a property, but I phoned up and nobody answered. Well, we can help with that. And we can actually reach into a CRM system and see when there is availability for viewing a property. So I think those sorts of things, again, you're talking tens of millions of phone calls gone to waste where you've got an unhappy customer and you've got a business which is losing revenue there. So I think things like that we're deploying right now and that we have customers live with, they're very exciting because they're very easy. It's so much better for everybody involved and it's very effective.
For execs who want to move fast on AI adoption, where do you see the biggest competitive advantages right now?
I think honestly, replacing the simpler things in your business rather than going for something which is, all hype and looks fantastic on paper. I think you should look at where AI is better at the moment is actually simple repetitive processes and replacing them. They will give you a competitive advantage as a business. A lot of companies are actually targeting hype. They're targeting a marketing story, which is great until it goes wrong, chicken nuggets or, things like that. So I think people should be very careful what they're actually applying and use something which is small chunks at a time and learn as they go, not jump headfirst into something. And use partners. There are companies like us who are doing things all over the world. And we know we've already made a bunch of mistakes. So don't make those mistakes yourself. Learn from others.
Is there an AI conversation that you think we'll be having with business leaders a year or two from now that we're not even thinking about today?
Can't tell you because I'm not thinking about it. I think honestly, we'll be moving towards predictive AI much more. So I think at the moment, a lot of there's predictive stuff going on, but I think once you actually can get really involved with what is going to happen rather than what is happening or what has happened, I think that's when things get very, very interesting. And, even in terms of stock trading and things like that, this is going to be a massive change for businesses. But in terms of inventory, in terms of market changes, because we have to pull in so much data to be able to finally realize that actually something's about to happen, whether that's a market crash, whether that's a market rally, whether that's all of a sudden this particular thing is going to be in demand, AI will be on that so fast.
Given all of your recent meetings with execs in real estate, auto, restaurants, hospitality, what are some of the common themes you're hearing? What challenges or opportunities are they talking about when it comes to AI?
I think the biggest issue is nobody really knows where to start. So that's kind of one of the big issues we see with pretty much everybody is, they know they need to be involved in AI. They know that it's the next great thing, but what do they do with it? So that's the challenge for most of our customers is figuring out where. And we're trying to help guide people to say, example, if you're trying to increase the volume of leads you generate by 10% to a real estate industry, actually there's 50% of your leads which don't go answered at the moment. So tackle that problem first. So if people are hanging up because they don't want to press 1, press 2, or press 3 to figure out who they want to speak to, that's about 7 to 9% sometimes drop off, sometimes higher. Tackle that problem. Those problems are effectively free. Generating more leads is not always possible because there's only a certain volume of people who are trying to buy a car, a house, whatever. So making the most of that customer once you have them is absolutely important, especially in a market downturn where you actually have somebody who wants to buy something, whether that is an appointment with a vet, whether that is an appointment with a doctor, viewing a house to buy a house, buying a car, and that person hangs up or that person doesn't complete their journey, you've just lost something so incredibly valuable, and it is not infinite. There are only a certain volume of people who want to do these things. And we've seen some incredible studies which we've done where, response times is 6 days. We've seen hundreds of thousands of voicemails that aren't listened to at all. So tackling that is what we're trying to guide people towards, is to look at these big ticket items, which you can tackle with AI right now. And we're trying to guide companies to say, these are the easy things to solve. Finding more people who want to buy a house, sometimes that's okay, but it reaches a limit where you don't have any more people that want to buy a house. And when you're literally dropping 50% of those leads out of the gate, that's a disaster.
If a business leader wanted to start experimenting with AI today, what would be your advice for the first step?
Be careful. That would be my first step. So many people jump into dumping data into public models like ChatGPT or whatever else. There was the case study with Samsung, who somebody uploaded their source code into ChatGPT, which then becomes owned by the internet effectively. It's no longer your data. Once you plug something into one of these machines, read the T's and C's. It's not your data anymore. We use in-house models. We actually make sure that everything is local. We don't push stuff to learning models. So be careful would be my first advice. And my second piece of advice would be small steps. Crawl, walk, run. Because too many people are running and then starting straight away, they're going to hit a big mistake. It is going to be a PR disaster. It's going to be a personal disaster. So be careful and take small chunks. Don't bite off more than you can chew straight away. And again, look for help, look for advice. I mean, where companies like us are here, and there are ethical companies out there who don't want to just sell you anything. There are ethical companies who are trying to guide you in the right direction. Use them.
What's your process for understanding each client's specific needs before building their AI solution?
We like to whiteboard. So we like to sit down with a client, get all the decision makers in a room, and we like to ideally do this quarterly, but to sit down with those key decision makers and just brainstorm and just go through every aspect of the business, because sometimes it's really nothing to do with our core platform or our core product as you would think, but then you start to understand the problems that business faces, and we can apply our technology, or even we can advise on technology which isn't ours, but we've seen work. The fact is we work with, lots of double-digit marketplaces around the world. We work with the biggest in property, the biggest in automotive. So we actually know what works and what doesn't work. So we like to sit down with somebody and say, every business is different. What are the problems you're trying to solve in your business today? And then we'll work backwards from there to put in place some of the solutions that we have or build new ones. But it comes to me from a deep understanding of what your business is actually doing. And that is around a whiteboard. You can't beat that.
A restaurant CEO is losing bookings because staff can't answer every phone call during rush hours. Walk us through how AI actually solves this.
Okay, so there's lost through two things. One, the phone is not answered and somebody hangs up. Two, it goes to voicemail, nobody checks the voicemail. Those are two big drops. So the first one is easy. If nobody answers the phone, immediately cut in. If you know somebody, if after hours, for example, no one's going to answer the phone at 2 a.m. We have bookings at 2 a.m. going back to, years. If somebody phones up at 2 a.m., immediately answer that with a machine, which can take that booking. And I mean, not just take a message, but actually insert that booking, check availability, get the person's name, number of guests, validate all of that information, and pass that in. So that's number one. Number two is if it goes to voicemail, use our intelligent voicemail. Don't use a dumb voicemail that no one ever listens to. We have customers, again, in restaurant industries with hundreds of thousands of voicemails a month, which don't get listened to. Or if they do get listened to, it's too late. 80+% of these are usually about bookings, and nobody's listening to them. Capture that intent as fast as you can because they will book somewhere else. And the other kind of crazy thing about the restaurant industry in general is the more people you want to book for, the worse the customer experience is. So if you're booking for 3 people, all of these platforms, they will accept that booking. If you want to book for 20 people, you're usually sent to voicemail. So that means that you don't actually get treated as well as if you're a small table booking. So it's kind of archaic that the bigger value, the bigger ticket items get worse customer service than the lower ticket items. And that's something we're trying to address as well by bringing some of this technology to play into the big ticket items. I mean, it's a similar thing in real estate where, a lot of real estate will answer the phone not knowing what that call is about. And if the call is about a $10 million house or $1,000 a month rental, they don't know the difference. So it's very important for us to actually help guide them to say, this call is worth a lot of money, do this. And for restaurants, it's the same thing. So you tackle those two things. One, nobody's picking up the phone and somebody hangs up by getting that straight away. Two, those voicemails. Do not go to a dumb voicemail machine. Those are archaic. We're better than that now.
Data security and compliance. These keep CEOs up at night. How do you ensure AI solutions meet regulatory requirements in industries like healthcare or finance adjacent sectors?
Do not use public models. Do not use learning models. Do not use anything until you have made absolutely certain that that data still belongs to you in the end. All of our models are hosted by us. They're run by us. They're in our data centers. They do not share with any external systems. They are not training models. So I think it's very important that when you're using a model, you make sure that it is not a public model, which is learning. There are companies which are saying that they're GDPR compliant, and some of the big platforms are saying they're GDPR compliant, but it's very vague in terms of how that is possible and how that is done. So, I mean, you can see lawsuit after lawsuit. I won't name companies, but companies who have stated one thing and then we find out that that data is being backhauled to somewhere else. So be very careful with your data and only use something if you understand it. Don't rush into anything.
Yeah, very important. So thank you so much, Ryan, for your time today, and thank you for sharing all of your knowledge with us about AI. I know that it's going to be really helpful and informational for a lot of people, and we would love to maybe sometime this year get you live in person, sharing some of your wisdom at an event or at a roundtable.
Love to, yeah. This technology is changing so fast. It's very difficult to keep up with. So it keeps me busy, that's for sure. And a month from now, what we're doing will be different from what we're doing today.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.